First time I noticed Signum behaving very unusual was around the beginning of June. One day, we were having a picnic at the beach, all of us, to celebrate the bright and successful Master Hayate Yagami. Our master became another year older, yet she still looks so young, despite hailing right 4'6" like a seasonal pro mage. I was assisting Signum with a small barbecue grill, cooking up hot dogs and burgers and making sure the wind didn't blow our paper plates and table cover away. We were about to serve the first burger to Hayate, but Signum suddenly stopped halfway to the table. Just stopped dead and locked up. Her eyes were wide, like she went into shock. We were all wondering what was wrong. I had the audacity to yell, "Signum!" and she snapped back like nothing happened. She continued to deny she locked up, so I asked everyone to drop it for now. I did a scan just to play it safe at the medical office. All was strangely well. Even her mentality was all acceptable levels. Nothing was wrong, but still, anyone's health can change in a matter of seconds. I know. I had a bad fish and I went from okay to spilling sick in half an hour. And this wasn't a pleasant memory. And it was the same as Signum the next time something happened to her. I took her shopping with me. She had the cart, handling it just fine, and I was fiddling with the list. I heard a thud, and a woman behind us screamed. Signum was on the ground in the fetal position, shivering like it's the frigid cold. The building was around 78 degrees. She looked like she was very frightened, mumbling incoherently. I couldn't make out a single word. I had to ask 2 stock boys to help her into the car. It was embarrassing, yet scary. I swear, something is wrong. I seem to be the only one who knows of this. I just have to find it out and fast. Just yesterday, something happened to her that warranted a faster solution. She went insane when she was taking a bath. She just bolted out of the bath, Levantine unsheathed, and was slashing at us. Then it took a sudden turn as she tried to pierce her own heart. I had to put her sleeper spell on her that I learned from one of the young assistants. I can't figure her out. I'm getting broken-hearted because of it. What am I to do? I sat in bed, feeling very miserable in my incompetences. I just happened to walk in. She asked, "What's the matter?" I told her my predicament. I sighed. Weird. I have an idea, but it might be dangerous. It's been absorbed into me for some time. Yeah, she shared me the idea, and I found it very applicable for this. I had Signum in the medical wing once more. I had her to go to sleep. Then I chanted the spell I learned from Mines and held my hand onto Signum's forehead. To put it simple, I learned a spell which drove me into Signum's dream. At first it was a calm meadow that looked vaguely familiar. Then it clouded up and began to rain. It wasn't really rain, it was blood. I began to feel rather uneasy. I turned to the meadow, which suddenly became ravaged and littered with bodies. On the hill opposite of me was Signum, back to me. I walked around the dead bodies up to this hill and was calling Signum's name. I reached to her and called her out, a little softly so I don't startle her too much. She turned to me and it was a frightful sight. Her eyes were blank and motionless, and her face and her hair were soaked in blood. Her glance opened wide and she was going to slash me. I retraced into reality just in time before she could try to kill me in her dreams. However, she awoke and produced her barrier-checking weapon. She had an insane glare in her eyes. After the spell effect took place, I reopened the door and took a leg crutch as my weapon. She took a swing at me, but I blocked it in a split second before it could make contact with my skin. I glared at her with murderous eyes. I chanted a berserker spell before confronting her. As long as I can keep a good concentration, I can be aware of what my berserk side does to control her. Heinz taught me that my strength and speed would be increased. Yeah, and I'm in the same level of insanity as her that drove her to subconscious. Somehow it seemed to be the idea that worked in an anime show I saw. All I had to do was hold her in a medical wing and bring her old self back into the surface. It's very hard to do as I'd never done this before, so I had to make it quick or I may lose it and both of us become mad killers. Her mind was clouded with chaos, but I was able to find her. She was almost like a child. I get the madness did it to her. "Who are you?" asked the girl, very frightened. "You don't remember me? It's me, Shamal. What went in here?" It's... That time is taking over me. What is? That time when I was under the fiendish man I was forced to kill until I became a walking killing machine. It must have been too long ago. I don't remember much. I let myself get swallowed into the darkness because I got scared of him. I don't want to kill anyone, but I did. There's no way I can't forget it. It's heartbreaking to hear her tear up. I thought I locked it away and now it's mad. I wanted it out and I wanted to kill. I can't fight it because I'm scared. I hugged the little child. There's no need to hurt anyone, and you don't have to be afraid. You're not scared. You're just lonely. Don't worry, I'm here for you. And so is everyone else. We're all here for you. I felt the child morph into a woman that I knew fondly of, and she hugged me back while crying under my shoulder. Thank you very much. The darkness then broke up, and it got bright. I reacted to my body and regained control of it, just to see Signum squirm and scream, desperately trying to regain her sanity. I wasn't working as fast as I hoped, as she still lunged forward. I reenact the berserk spell and our struggle continued for a while. Yeah, it escalated when she broke through the window and went to the ground of headquarters. Still trying to control my berserk side, I followed her to the open area with a few metal poles. Our fight continued, each slash being blocked with veins and flimsy metal. It doesn't seem that Levantine wasn't working at its full potential. A slight relief, but it still wasn't even. I made a sudden move when I left an opening. I kicked her side as hard as I could, launching her into the ground. I pounced her and pinned her to the ground with IV stand. She squirmed until she regained her sanity, which was signal when she stopped struggling and she began to cry. Once again, regained control and let her up. I then hugged her to assure her that everything's alright, and that she could cry with comfort and ease. I tried to keep her in bed so she could recover from our fight. I did have to bind her once, so she wouldn't listen. She complied after that, and when I threatened to use the berserk spell, I do have to be careful with those spells. I hope I don't have to use them again. For now, all I need to do is ensure this to Signum, as well as the others, that we're not alone. When it comes to problems, we each have each other's help, and it's within reach. The end. Guns forcing me with a gun, people help me!